To me. You should not have any headphones in. You should be paying attention. If I catch you with headphones, I'll give you lunch detention, Mr. Schaub. Okay? All right. So I have a ball of clay. I'm going to push my thumb in because I'm making basically 2 pinch pots, right? Do we see how I'm pushing this in and pulling it out? I'm going like this. See my fingers? See how my thumb stays in one spot, but my fingers are moving? I'm pulling that towards me, right? So I'm not putting 2 thumbs in and going like this and pinching it around. If I do that, it's going to widen up and it's going to be a bowl. And I don't want that. I want it to stay in a shape that I can connect to an identical shape. Okay? What I'm doing right now is I'm going all the way to the tip so I can feel how thick it is back there. And I'm going to line that up, right? So I've got that half done. So now I'm going to make this half. Okay? Push my thumb in. I'm going to start the same process all over again. What you guys end up doing is you talk too long to your friends and you don't get busy working on what you're supposed to be working on. Okay? So the goal is to actually get the potato part of your pig done in 1 class period. Well, okay, you don't have to make a pig. Are we listening? Okay, hang on, I'll get there. Okay, the potato part of your pig is the body base of your pig. I'm going to grab paper towel. You should not be talking. I don't know what you did last year. I'll have to check. All right, so I've got paper towel, right? I take my paper towel, I wad it up. No, not in the center. Okay, so I've got my paper towel and I'm pushing it inside of that, right? Then I'm going to take and put the other one on. If I work quick enough in 1 class period, I do not have to score and slip in between. Okay? I just have to make sure that it blends together, right? That's if I work quick enough. Do we see how I'm doing this? I'm pushing and pulling with my thumb as I squish the paper towel inside of there. Right? Sometimes it stays together better than others. This one might be a little too much paper towel because it wants to just burst out. Okay, so now I've got it staying together. And I'm going to make sure that I form my potato very, very well. Right? It doesn't matter if he's smooth. I can smooth him out later. Right? Do we see how I have the base of the piggy bank? Right? This is an actual piggy bank, right? They're very similar in shape. Okay? This is also a piggy bank. Do we see the similar shape? This is a penguin. So he does look a little different, right? It's a penguin. It does have a big nose. It also has the coin slot that is required, right? No different than my pig. My pig has a coin slot as well. It also has the opening where the money can come out, as does the penguin, right? Okay, so I've got my base started. Now I need to add some legs. Okay, so now I'm going to add the legs, right? I'm going to roll it out. I probably have way too much. I'm going to roll it out. Trust me, it's weird to do this demo underneath here. Okay. So I'm rolling this out. I'm also checking to make sure I don't have air pockets in the legs, because air pockets will blow up. Okay, so if I use that leg, right, those are 2 ginormous legs, I can tear these guys in half again. Now I have 4 legs, right? I can reshape this if I want because I don't really like how it kind of turned out. So I can roll him back out again on his own. Yeah, I heard it. Okay, so then I can also squish this guy up, make him a leg, right? All of my potato legs need to be scored and slipped on there. See how I put 4 little spots that I'm going to put them on? Do we see it? Scratch, 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 scratched. Right? I'm going to add these guys to it, but I got to scratch these guys too. And push it on there, right? Then I'm going to pull that down. It's going to change the shape of my leg. Do we see how I pulled it down and smoothed it to the body?
Yeah.
Okay. Remember, let's be a little bit mature about what I've got going on here. Okay, same thing with this leg. I'm going to stub it up a little bit so it's a little fatter. Okay, then I'm going to scratch this one, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put him on there, and I'm going to smooth him out. I'm pushing and pulling the clay so it smooths around the bottom of that leg. Right? So I smooth that out. I've got 2 legs. I need 2 more. If you choose to do something without legs, it needs to have a tremendous amount of detail in it. I am marking down this year if you do not add something with some detail. And I'll explain that in a minute. Better be the best football I've ever seen. Okay, so I'm pushing this leg on. I'm actually going to cut part of his leg off because he's really tall on this end. There's a lot of technique in this. It's called using your fingertips and your fingernails to try and smooth this out. It's like stood up. You're not going to be able to do that. Unless you have a curly tail, you need a 3 tripod at least. All right, so we can see he's got 4 legs and he stands up, right? Not much different than my pig. The piggy bank does the same thing. Little bit taller, right?
That looks more like a sheep.
I don't know. I just made a giraffe the other day.
You can do it.
Out of the clay that I used the other day, I did make a giraffe. Okay, so I've got the giraffe out of the red clay. Do we see it? So he's got legs, he's got a tail, he's got the head. He even has the tiny little horns. Do we see his horns? Yep. So I can make a giraffe, right? TJ is encouraging this behavior, so I might attempt that again. I have enough clay to do this, okay? So if I'm going to do his neck, I need to roll this out, right? And I'm actually going to flatten it with my rolling pin. See the t-shirt? Okay? I'm going to flatten that out just because I can, right? So that I can decide, am I going to roll it this way or am I going to roll it that way? I'm probably going to roll it that way because it'll work a little better that way. So I'm going to add some paper towel. Okay? We use clean paper towel because it burns clean. Is that clear? So now I've got this kind of rolled up in like a little neck form, right? I'm going to stretch this just a little bit more because I can. And I'm going to put this around that. Kind of looks like a taco or a burrito, right? So I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to get my head, right? Going to get the head of that giraffe going. Right? I'm going to try and get, it kind of looks a little sad right now, but he's getting there, right? No, he's not a dragon, he's going to be a giraffe. Okay, so he's gonna have his little ears, right? His ears are actually kind of big. I gotta try and squish those up a little bit more. Okay, I'm gonna make his little horns that he has on top of his head. Right? I'm gonna give myself the space for that. I'm gonna squish this face down a little bit. Shouldn't be talking. Okay, do we see how I've got the head? So now I'm going to attach it to this little pathetic body, right? And I've got that big piece of paper towel in there, and you're like, well, how's that going to work? Well, this is exactly how it's going to work. I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to take a chunk of it out. Okay? You guys can use an X-Acto blade. I didn't have a tool up here to do it. I guess I have this one. Okay? We can cut this part of the body out. Notice you can see my paper towel clearly, right? Yep, that's the paper towel that I just buried inside the body. Now I'm going to add the head. See? He ends up, I know, they end up looking like a llama when I start, but don't worry, we'll get there. His legs just caved in. Okay, I also did not score and slip this because I'm working with wet, ready-to-go clay. I'm not talking to my friends. I'm not letting it dry out in my hands. Right? I'm smoothing it all on there. It's going to work just beautifully. I can even move that paper towel inside of there so I can get a skinnier neck if I need to. I'm pushing that fur together on the back so he gets a little bit of a mane on the back of his neck. Right? I have more clay here, so that's cool. I can help seal up what I need to here. Right? I can seal up what I need to. I can add clay to the parts that I can see paper towel through, because I don't want to see that. Right? It's my pathetic llama giraffe. It's coming along. Right? I'm trying to smooth out his neck a little bit now, because some of us are making fun of my giraffe, right? It does. It looks like that Jalama.
At one point in history, big wooden one. I forgot what it's called. Trojan horse? Yeah.
Right? Do we see how I'm smoothing that out? Smoothing him out. Remember, I had his little horn details on there. You guys should be working, not talking. Okay? I've got this part of the mane in the back. I'm going to make sure that doesn't fall off. I'm going to straighten out his legs that I've kind of manipulated while I was working on the other parts. Right? I'm going to smooth out the body a little bit now because I can, because I know I'm going to go with this design. I'm going to make sure that my body is pretty smooth. Okay? Is that clear? Now he's kind of like a giraffe, right? He's got a little pot belly. That's okay because I'm putting, money in him. It looks like a horse. It could be a horse. Okay, I'm going to add his tail. The tail of a giraffe is kind of got a big, it's kind of got a fluffy tip on it. So I'm going to kind of leave that chunk, and I'm going to kind of thin out the rest. So it kind of looks like a weird snake, right? I want it to be thick enough that I'm not going to break him when I add it. So I'm going to add it like this, where he's got a big chunk of that tail coming up onto his body. I might not show you this demo again, so you might have to figure this out on your own. Right? So I basically had 2 big balls of clay that I have smoothed into this nice little giraffe.